Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sari. You are watching my knitting podcast videos, and usually I always share what I've been knitting lately. I'll show you all my whips that is works in progress, and also show things that I have finished lately. And I'm also going to do that today, but I was thinking about doing something slightly different from what I usually do. So usually when I have filmed a video, I just do it in one day, and I'll show you kind of like what is going on my needles at the moment. But this time I was going to kind of like chronicle a whole week of my knitting life. So let's see how this goes. And the idea started from the fact that this is the last Monday in November, and the last day of November is on Sunday. So I have 1 week left of November over here, and the fact is that I haven't finished anything this month. So I've only been starting things and kind of like continuing things that I have started earlier, but I have not finished a single thing this month. And I kind of like realized that yesterday. I have so many things on my needles at the moment. I've been totally distracted by casting on a lot of new things, and I have so many ideas for so many new things that I would like to cast on, but I'm not giving myself permission to cast on anything new before I finish something that I have on my needles. I really need to finish something. I can't keep casting on things and not finishing. So you can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things on my needles, and actually that's not even everything. I have a couple of more things that are like more dormant at the moment. So these are the ones that I have been working on more or less during the past month, and I really want to finish at least a couple of them before the end of the month. So that's why I decided to do this little YouTube challenge. So I will try to kind of like chronicle myself knitting for this upcoming week, and we'll see on Sunday how many of these projects I finish during this week. So let me show you what I have on my needles. So first up is the poetic sweater. I've shown this to you a couple of times, and if you watched me and Kika's previous podcast, this was one of my projects that I showed on our previous podcast episode. So Kika and me, we started this little podcast together. It's called Knit and Tell, and we have so far filmed 2 episodes, and every episode both of us, we bring a couple of projects that we're working on, and then we show them to each other and of course you guys, and we talk about those. So I had my poetic pullover with me in the previous episode, and to be completely honest, I haven't knitted it at all ever since I showed it there. So here's my second sleeve. So the first one is already finished, the body is finished, the neckband is finished, everything that is missing is the second sleeve. And I know that if I just sat down with this, it's less than a day's work to finish the second sleeve, but I've been so distracted with everything else that I haven't been able to get it out of me to continue with the second sleeve. So this is one of the things that I really look forward to finishing this week, and I hope that by the end of this week I can show you and maybe even wear the finished pullover. So it's a poetic pullover. It's missing less than 1 sleeve. So I have started the sleeve, so it's not even like a full sleeve, but yeah, that's the first thing. And the second thing, I also showed this on our podcast episode. So this is the poet scarf that I showed on Kika and Me, my Knit and Tell podcast, and the same thing for this. I haven't I haven't touched it since we filmed the episode. So this is another thing that I really want to finish. So it's the poet scarf. I think I still need to do one more pattern repeat on this side before starting to decrease back to the other tip. And it's a small project, it's fairly quick to knit, so also for this one, like if I had a full day of knitting time, I would probably be able to finish this one. So let's pretend that I don't do anything else except knit for this upcoming week. Then one day for the poetic pullover to finish the sleeve and one day for the poet scarf to finish it. So I still have like five days of knitting left. Of course, it's just like a utopia that I would be able to just knit for the whole week. Some days I do knit the whole day, most of the days I don't, so I do have some meetings this week. I have a couple of appointments. Also I need to write a couple of patterns. I have a few pattern releases also, so, and of course all the maintenance stuff that I have to do, answering emails and everything, and social media takes a lot of my time. So that's something that I need to also focus on this week. So even though I wanted to, I just couldn't knit the whole week, even though that would be a dream. But anyway, so I want to finish the poet scarf as well as the poetic pullover sleeve. So at least those two I want to finish. And also, what else? Well, this one I haven't shown you yet. I've shown it on Instagram. But, I haven't really shown it anywhere like properly yet. So you might remember the striped sweater I knitted earlier. So I started actually with a striped tee. So it's the Saltwind tee that I made last spring. And then I really liked that, so I turned it also into a sweater pattern. And I absolutely love the fit of that sweater. So I decided to do another Saltwind pullover, but instead of using like two different colors for the stripes, I had this idea of doing like just like a unicolor sweater, but just like having a different color textures for the stripes. I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's like always a stripe of like merino that has a really good stitch definition, followed by a stripe of boucle yarn. So the both of these yarns are from Saya Wool. It's a Finnish dyer that I really like, and it's their DK weight merino as well as their DK weight boucle yarn, and the colorway for both of them is Fog, Mr. Fog. I will write all the pattern names and yarn information and everything below this video, like I usually always do, so you can easily check that out from there. I know that especially like Finnish names might be hard to understand, so you can just like check it out below the video. So it looks like a unicolor sweater, but it still has the same exact stripe pattern as the Saltwind pullover, just that the stripes are with different types of yarn. And I've gotten through the fun part, so I've made all the increases for the back and also the sleeves shaping. Here's the back, so you can see it from here. So it kind of has an European shoulder construction, and then you pick up stitches for the sleeves and work that at the same time as the body. So by the time you're ready to separate the body from the sleeves, you have already shaped the sleeves and it's ready to go. So this is how far I have gotten on this one, and like I said, I have done the fun part, and now it's just like stockinette stitch in the round for the body and for the sleeves, so it's kind of boring. I really like this part in all the sweaters, but after that, when all the shaping is done, I kind of lose interest, and you're going to see it over here in this pile next to me. So here's the boucle yarn that I'm using for the boucle stripes, but it's exactly the same as the saltwind pullover, just not with color stripes but texture stripes. And for the boucle parts, I have been changing in the smaller needles. So the merino yarn, I use 3.5mm needles, and then every time I get to the boucle stripe, I'm going down a needle size to 3.25 because the gauge for the boucle is a bit different. But yeah, I'm not even dreaming about finishing this week, but I hope to get a few stripes done at least. Let's see. But it's not my main whip this week, I have to say that. I have something else that's like more time pressing, and for example the poetic pullover and the poet scarf, it's more realistic for me that I finish them because there's not that much to be done, whereas the saltwind pullover still has the whole body and both sleeves, so I don't think I can I could finish that if I only focused on that one, but not that one, and everything else I want to finish because I have one thing that has a deadline, and it's the Pax pullover that I have over here. This one I have shown you earlier, and also with this one it's the same thing. I got really excited. I made it to the point where I have separated the sleeves from the body, and then I wrote the pattern and put it out for test knitting, and thought that, well, I do have time to finish it later, like while my test knitters are working on their projects, then I have plenty of time to finish it. And then I realized that the end of the test knit is next week, and I was planning to release the pattern very soon, and I still have the whole body and the sleeves to be knitted. So this is my main whip for the week, because this is the one that has a deadline and I really need to finish it to be able to release the pattern. So the Pax pullover, as you can see, it's a raglan pullover. It's based on the Pax top that is in my summer knits book, but I use the same stitch patterns as for the top, but change it as to a raglan sweater. And yeah, I really need to finish this one. I love knitting it, but it's, for me, if I put something on the side, then it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind for me, and then I forget about it and I get excited about something else, something new, something exciting, and it's always really hard for me to pick up a whip again. I know that once I get this back on my hands and going, then I get really excited about it again, and it kind of like flies off my needles, but it's always hard to start again once it's been on hold for a while. But yeah, this is my main whip for this week, so I really need to finish this one. So I'm using Ritual Dyes Sprite. It's sport weight yarn. The colorway is called Smoke. It's my favorite color at the moment, kind of like this warm brown. But yeah, the Pax pullover, my main whip. And then there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that I want to show you. So I'll just show this one. So this is something I started last week. have been so many striped things trending lately, and I wanted to knit something with stripes, so I casted on a striped hat, and it's I've been working it top down, and I want it to be kind of like a double layer, so I'm just going to continue it and then kind of like do a crown also at the other end, and then put the other end inside this one and fold it, so it's kind of like 4 layers around my ears, and it's been really fun to knit. It's kind of like my mindless project at the moment, like not really mindless, I still have to count how many rows I have been making, but mindless enough that it's just sticking it in the round. So it's been my car knitting lately, and this is also something that I really want to finish. I know that it's I need to do a couple more stripes and then the shaping to the other end, and then it's ready. So I think it's doable that I finish it this week. And this one I also showed to you in a previous video. So this is my Northwind pullover, and the Northwind pullover pattern is also already released. I was wearing my green one a few videos ago, so you can check that out from there, and I absolutely love it. Has the same construction and fit as the Saltwind pullover, and I already said that it's my favorite fit at the moment. So I cast it on another Northwind pullover, and it's this dark plum raisin color. I made the color, and it's the same thing with this one. So I have made all the shaping, I have separated the body and the sleeves, and then I moved on to something else, to knit something else, and I just need to do the body and the sleeves. That's my, it seems to be like a reoccurring problem for me, and you can see it's starting to empty, but there are still a few more things. This is the one that I started already last winter, and then I got distracted by all the summer knitting, and then I put it on hold, and now it's back on my needles. It's already being tested, so I should finish it as well. So this is the Rose City pullover. I need to finish the body and the sleeves. So again, the same thing. It's missing the body and the sleeves. And here you can see how it looks like. So it has this rose pattern on the yoke, inspired kind of like these vintage rose doilies and cross stitch patterns, so you can see it here. So that one I'm hoping to finish at least the body, maybe. Might be doable, I don't know, depends how much time everything else takes, but I hope to do a bit of that as well during the next week. And then one more sweater project. It's this one. So this has been my main whip lately. So a new cable sweater, and you can see I have finished the sleeves shaping and separated the sleeves from the body, and probably it's going to the hibernation pile. Well, let's hope not. I should finish the neckband because I want to write the pattern and get it out for test knitting as soon as possible. So I do need to work on this a bit. But yeah, as you can see, there's quite a lot of things that I really want to knit and finish and so on. And one more thing, a new top-down hat. I casted this on 2 weeks ago I was going to Suomen Kädentaidot, which is the biggest craft fair in Finland. Actually, it's the biggest craft fair in the North Europe. They have something like 55,000 people visiting it during 3 days. But it's not just knitting, it's kind of like it's all the crafts. So everything from, of course, knitting and crochet to scrapbooking and sewing, and they also sell like ready-made, like finished projects, so you can buy ready-made, like hand-knitted but finished socks and things like that, like jewelry and everything. So it's not just for like makers, but it's also like by makers, and you can buy things that are already finished as well as craft supplies. And I was there teaching, so I needed something super simple, something portable to bring with me. So I cast it on a new top-down hat, and it's looks like this. So I'm using Explorer Knits yarn for this one. It's the My Guinness colorway, and it's the Denali sock and the suri. So this is the combo that I'm using, and it looks like this, and I should write the pattern for this one as well. I want to do at least a bit more so I can call for test knitters for this hat. So this is what it looks like today on Monday, and let's see tomorrow how much I have done in the first day. Super exciting. So now it's Tuesday, and I wanted to come back and show you how much knitting I got done yesterday. I actually didn't have as much knitting time yesterday as I had hoped, but I did get some knitting done. So this is the hat that I showed yesterday, and I think I was somewhere like about here yesterday. So I'm almost done with this, so I'm just doing the decreases on the other side of the hat. I already started them, I don't know if you can see it, but started the decreases, and basically compared to this side, so I'm like somewhere around here, so I just have the top of the hat left on the other side. And if I fold this, so you'll get an idea how it's going to look like. So just take this side and pull it through to the other side. So I wanted to have like this other side starts with the green color, so I wanted this to end with the purple, so that if you turn it around it looks slightly different. So this one has the purple on top, but if you turn it the other way around, then it has the green on the top, and then when you fold the edge it's going to look like this. So just put it on. So this is how it looks like. So it has like 4 layers around the ears. So that's what I've been making, and I only need to finish the top of the hat. Yesterday after filming I went and trained with my personal trainer, and then we had my son's diving practice, so I didn't have that much knitting time, but I'm really happy with the progress I did yesterday. So it doesn't take me long to finish the top of the hat, so it should be done in like a half an hour maybe. And my plan for today is to write the pattern for this one so I can call for test knitters. And I really want to start another one. I've been thinking about colors, like what colors I want to use for a second version of this hat. I'm trying not to cast on anything this week. Like that was my plan. No casting on this week. I need to finish things that I have on my needles instead. So that's the challenge of the week. So as soon as I finish this one, that's my first finished object for November. So I'm really happy that at least I finished something. So after finishing this one, I'm going to be taking the poetic pullover on my needles, and I hope to have this second sleeve done by tomorrow. I have a couple of things I need to, couple of appointments for today, so I don't have the whole day of knitting, and then I was planning to write the pattern for the hat, but at least in the evening I will have a bit of time to knit, so let's see how far I get with the poetic pullover, and I'll come back and talk to you tomorrow. So it's Wednesday and I'm back here telling you how much knitting I have done since yesterday. And I think the recurring theme here seems to be that I'm totally overestimating how much knitting I can get done in one day. I thought I would be done with my poetic pullover already by now, and I'm not. The sleeve is almost done, so if I compare the two sleeves over here, so I only have this much left, so it's not a lot, half a pattern repeat maybe, and then the cuff, so I'm sure I can finish it by the end of the day, but I thought I would be already done by now, and I'm not. I think I've been tackling this pile of unfinished knits. I started with kind of like the most straightforward knit, so I actually finished the beanie, so I showed this to you yesterday and it was still on my needles, so now it's done. And I spent yesterday evening writing the pattern for this one, so I will be calling for test knitters for it today. So the beanie is now done, so it looks like this, and then just fold one end into the other like this, and then just fold the brim, and this is what it looks like. So I'm really happy how it turned out. I was already wearing it today when I was out and about, but yeah, I thought I would have already done the sleeve and maybe even like finishing the pot scarf today, but it seems like it's not going to happen. So now I'm debating whether I should do the pot scarf first, because that's like I can actually finish it this week, and I feel like I get things crossed off my list if I tackle that next, or if I should pick up the Pax pullover that still needs the whole body and the sleeves. I should be knitting. I should focus on this one because it's the one that has a deadline and it's the most time sensitive, so I should focus on this one, but I don't know, my brain always works that way, that if I have to do something, then it's the thing that I don't want to do. So I want to, like, instead of doing the things that I have to do, I want to get something new and do something fun instead. So that's what I'm struggling with at the moment. Like, even though I really enjoy the Pax pullover, it's super fun to knit and I absolutely love it, but now that it has a deadline, it has started to feel like work knitting instead of fun knitting, and then I want to do only the fun knitting. So I really want to cast on another beanie like this with different colors, or a matching set of mittens. So I want to do all the other things except the one that I should be doing, but I will finish this sleeve today, and then I think I will continue with the Pax pullover and maybe alternate a bit between the Pax pullover as well as the poet scarf. So hoping to finish the poet scarf this week, then I would have 3 finished objects this month and knit the Pax pullover as far as I can get it done this week. So that's the new plan. So let's see how that goes. So today is Thursday and I got Luna wanted to join me for the filming today. If you are new to my channel, Luna is our older cat, so we have 2 cats, and Luna, she's been with us since 2011. She's a rescue cat and she was at least 1 year old when she moved in with us, so that makes her at least 15 years old. So she's our little grand old lady, and she often likes to join me when I'm filming my videos. Like when she notices that I'm setting up the camera, she usually always jumps immediately on the table and wants to join me. I think she knows that I'm going to be sitting here still so that she can get some cuddles and kisses while I'm here. Also, you probably noticed that I finished my poetic pullover last night, so I haven't really blocked it yet. I just like gently steamed it, so it still needs a good proper blocking, but I just wanted to wear it and show it to you. So now we have 2 finished objects. We have the striped beanie that I finished, and also the poetic pullover. So the pile of unfinished knits is definitely getting smaller, and I have resisted the urge to cast on anything new, although I'm really waiting until the end of the week that I can cast on something. I have so many ideas that I want to knit. Like I said yesterday, I'm trying to tackle the box pullover next, so it's here on my needles, and I put a little progress tracker, progress keeper here. I want to show it to you. It's actually a little tortoise cat, so it reminded me of Luna, and I bought it a few weeks ago from the knitting barber. I think it's super cute. So I wanted to put it there to see how much progress I have made. So maybe like 5 centimeters, something like that, since I started knitting it again. I think I was like above the bubble, so the bubble part is new here. So that's what I knitted this morning. It's actually already like almost 2 p.m. So I didn't have time to film anything earlier today. So I've been knitting a bit. I still have to write a couple of patterns. I dropped off 2 skeins of sock yarn with my sample knitter yesterday for my next upcoming book, and I should finish writing the patterns so that my sample knitter can start working on the socks for the next book. So that's still on my agenda for today. So not just knitting, but mainly knitting today. I think every other day this week I have been on the go. So I have had some appointments where I have had to go, and today is the almost like only day I think this week that I can just stay at home and at my home office and work from here. So the box pullover is getting some much needed love, and I'm going to come back tomorrow and show you how much progress I have made. So I'm going to leave this little progress keeper here, and you can see that I haven't really knitted the whole length of it, so it's somewhere like where the tail starts. So tomorrow I can show you how much longer or far further along with this I have made it. Until tomorrow, see you then. So it's already Friday, and I've been working on the box pullover since yesterday. I had a little bit of more knitting time yesterday than I have had on the other days of the week. So I actually made some progress with this one. And here's the little progress keeper that I put here. And yesterday I was somewhere like at where the tail begins of this little cat, and you can see that I've actually made quite a lot of progress since yesterday. And I put the stitches on a cable holder, cable cord, so you can see how the sweater is starting to look like. I actually tried it on before I started filming. I think I'm going to steam it a bit so it will look better, so you can easily see also the difference between the blocked fabric and the unblocked fabric over here. So this part, the upper part over here, I have steam blocked because I wanted to see how it looks like, and also I had this with me on our first episode of the Knit and Tell podcast that I'm filming with my friend Kika. So I wanted it to look nice for the podcast filming. So I steamed blocked the upper part, but you can see the difference between the upper part and the lower part, because the lower part, the part that I have just knitted, has not been blocked or steamed yet. So there's like a really clear difference with the lace pattern over here compared to the upper parts. But anyway, so I'm going to be working on this today as well. And another reason why I put it on the cable cord is that I like using quite short needles to knit my stuff, so I definitely use shorter needles than what I usually call for in the pattern. So for this one, I think in the pattern I would state 80 centimeters or something like that, and these are 60 centimeters, so they are quite short ones. I think 60 centimeters, it's 24 inches, I think. Anyway, I use shorter needles than I call for in the pattern, like I said, and especially if the yarn has like a bit more rustic feel to it, so it doesn't glide off the needles as easily, then I prefer using shorter needles. So I think like the stitches come off the needles more easily, and I don't have to kind of like turn them around and pull them on the needles all the time. So that's why I changed into these shorter needles. But if I had these in the work, you wouldn't really see how it looks like, because it would be like all scrunched up down here and it wouldn't really show the pattern. So that's why I also put the cable cord over there. So making progress on the Pax pullover. And I think when I started filming these little snippets of my day, I mostly wanted to challenge myself to make progress on these knits. So I'm kind of like accountable to you, that I actually make progress on them and I don't cast on something else, and I will finish something this month. And also for myself to see how much progress I have made. But I think it's also fun to kind of like document all the things that I do during a work week. So I've had a couple of work-related appointments as well as some personal appointment. For example, on Monday I worked out with my personal trainer, and then I had a massage on Wednesday and so on. So like a little things that are not work related, and then I've had some some work related appointments, a couple of Zoom calls and stuff like that. I've written a couple of patterns. I wrote the pattern for the hat and called for test knitters, so that's on my agenda today. I will send all the test knitter applications onward to my assistant Emma, who will be picking the test knitters, and then we will be kicking off the test knit. And I also wrote or finalized 2 sock patterns for my upcoming book. So I dropped off the yarn on Wednesday to my sample knitter, and yesterday I finished off writing the patterns. And for today I have some prep work for my Christmas countdown that is starting next week, as well as releasing a new pattern. So I'm releasing the Wine Club cardigan pattern today, and I still need to put it on Ravelry and on Shopify and all that stuff, and make all the social media posts about it. So I rarely get to knit the whole day. That would be the dream, that I would just get to concentrate on knitting and creating, but there's a lot of admin stuff going on behind the scenes that maybe it's not always visible for people, and I can't always talk about it. So it might look like I just knit the whole day, but that's not, sadly that's not the reality. But anyway, today I'm planning on working on the Pax pullover, and I had one appointment today. I was going to go into the city, but then the weather is really bad, so I decided not to go today. So that's so I have a bit more time to work on my stuff here at home today. But yeah, I will film another little part for you tomorrow, even though it's Saturday tomorrow. I'm still going to be knitting today, so I want to film some of my progress for you tomorrow as well. So until tomorrow, see you. Hi, it's now Saturday, and you get no makeup me. Since it's Saturday, I didn't want to put on any makeup. I'm just going to stay at home and go to the gym a bit later. But I wanted to come and show you how much knitting I did since yesterday, just to show you how much progress I make with my knitting in a week. That was the plan for this video. So I didn't have as much knitting time yesterday as I thought I would. I released the Wine Club cardigan pattern yesterday, and that took more time than I was anticipating. So like putting the pattern up on Ravelry and do all the listings, and also on Shopify, and then I filmed a little YouTube video. Even though it was just like less than 10 minutes, it still takes time to film and set everything up, and then edit the whole video and upload it to YouTube and write the description texts and everything for that. Make the cover photo, the thumbnail photo for the video and everything. And then I wrote my Substack. So I started writing Substack last spring, and then I forgot about it during the summer, and I picked it up again a few weeks ago, and I've done a couple of posts on Substack. So if you want to follow me on Substack, I will post a link to my Substack below this video. So some of you might know that I started like years and years ago. I had a blog, and I really liked doing that, and ever since like a few years ago, I think I kind of like started to get bored with Instagram. I've been trying to find new ways to reach people, so I don't want to be solely dependent on Instagram, and also I wanted to find an outlet to post like longer posts and write longer texts rather than Instagram. So I started doing Substack again. So I will, like I said, I will link it below this video. So if you want to follow me also on Substack and read read a little bit longer texts on my pattern inspiration and everything, then you can find that there. But here's the Pax pullover. As you can see, I have made quite a lot of progress with it this week. So when I started filming these videos on Monday, I had just separated the sleeves from the body, so the whole body is something I have knitted this week. And I have my little progress keeper over here, and after filming yesterday's little snippet of how much knitting I had done, I changed the progress keeper to where I was at that point. So this is how much I have done since yesterday. So it's not that much, a couple of centimeters, but still progress is progress. And I think I have to do maybe one more pattern repeat over here before the body is done. I want this to be kind of like slightly longer, so not very cropped, rather a bit too long than a bit too short. So this is what it looks like. I ran out of yarn, so I have to wind another skein for this to be able to continue. And I gave it a little bit of steaming before I started filming, so that it's nice and smooth now, so you can actually see how it looks like. And it's slightly kind of like paradoxal that the most knitting I usually get done is during the weekend. That's when I have most of the knitting done, because there are no hobbies and usually not that many things that we do during the weekend. Sometimes we go into the city and we do some shopping, or we go to coffee houses or to museums. Usually on Sundays we go to museums, but other than that we don't have that many like activities during the weekend. So that's when I usually get most of my knitting done. And I said it's paradoxal because knitting is my work, so it's weekend, it should be my free time, and I'm going to spend a lot of it knitting. So sometimes I wonder if I really even have like a holiday or time off, if I always spend my holidays or my days of work knitting, because knitting is my work, and working on this one is my work. So it's work knitting. This is a sample for my business. I'm going to be selling knitting patterns based on this sample, so doing this is part of my work. Of course, it's the most fun part of my work, but still, if I spend my whole weekend knitting this, did I really have a weekend? And that's something that I have been struggling with and haven't really found kind of like I haven't really found like a solution to that. I do love knitting, and I would feel it's kind of like a punishment if I wasn't allowed to knit during the weekend. But if knitting is my work, am I working all the time? I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that. But as long as I love it and it kind of like gives me more than it takes, I feel it's okay. But still, I think we often glorify the work of knitwear designers, but for me it feels like I'm working every day and the whole day. So even like after I have put my son to sleep in the evening, and then I'll take my knitting out and I'll knit for an hour or an hour and a half before I go to bed. So basically after my son goes to sleep, I continue working, if you know what I mean. So it's something that I struggle a bit with, and I don't really have a solution for that, like I said, but still, this is how much progress I have made with the Pax pullover, and I'm hoping to get to the hem today. So let's see tomorrow if I made it to the hem or not. But yeah, see you soon. So now it's Sunday and I'm at the end of my knitting week, although it's not even noon yet on Sunday. But I decided to film this video already now because later in the afternoon it gets so dark so early, so I wanted to have some daylight when I'm filming, so I decided to do it now and show you how far along I got with my Pax pullover this week. I think for this little video was a good eye-opener for me to see how much knitting I actually get done during a week. I think I'm always such a time optimist, so first of all I always think that whatever I knit takes less time than it actually does, and also I overestimate the knitting time per day that I actually have. So I always think that I get so much more knitting done during a week, and some weeks I actually do get, like if I don't have any other appointments or any other like pattern releases or meetings or anything like that, and I can just like sit and knit for the whole week, I can actually get a lot done during one week. But I think I have been using those weeks as kind of like my measuring stick. Like that's normal, even though it's not the normal. And I actually thought that I would have knitted more this week than I did. I did finish the hat that I've shown you a couple of times, and I did finish the poetic pullover, which was only missing one sleeve. So I finished the hat, even though it had just a couple of stripes and the brown decreases left, and the poetic sleeve. I thought I would have finished the poet scarf as well, but I've only knitted a couple of rows on that one. And I also, well, I didn't think that I would have finished this whole sweater, but I thought that I would have finished at least the hem and at least one sleeve by the end of this week, and I haven't done that. So actually, even though I said yesterday that I'm going to have a lot of knitting time yesterday, I ended up doing so many other things and not really knitting at all. So we did some family stuff, and I went to the gym, and we have this flea market event at my son's school today, so we are selling quite a lot of his toys and old clothes there. So that has taken quite a lot of my time in the evenings this week and yesterday. So we've been prepping everything and putting prices on them and washing all his clothes and ironing them and everything. So it took more time than I expected, so I didn't really have any knitting time yesterday. So this is still in the same place as it was yesterday. I didn't move it after I filmed the yesterday's little bit, so I've only knitted just a few rows since yesterday, and I just tried it on, and I think it will be a good length if I just finish this pattern repeat. So do this part over here, and then do a slightly longer rib at the hem, because I think it will look prettier if I end with this one rather than having the bubbles like right above the ribbing. So that's why I want to end at this point of the pattern, and then if I want it to be longer, then I'll just do a longer rib. So I hope I can finish that today, so I can get on with the sleeves tomorrow. But it looks like this. It's going to be really pretty. I'm trying to finish the sample so that I can release this pattern next week. So it has already been test knitted. I'm just really behind with all my work at the moment. I've been, like I said at the beginning of this video on Monday, that I've been casting on way too many things and not really finishing anything. So it's the last day of November, and my finished items for this month is 2. So it's the Saltwind beanie as well as the poetic pullover, and I didn't finish anything else. I just casted on a lot of stuff. But sometimes life is like that, and So continue with this. And like I said, we have the flea market event, so that's one of the reasons why I filmed this. Like before we go there, it starts at 1 and it's until 4, so I have 3 hours of just sitting there. And of course I'm going to sell the toys and the stuff over there, but I don't think I will have to work all the time, so I'm going to take this. I showed this to you on Monday, so this was the little top down beanie, the new pattern that I was working on, so I'm going to bring this one with me to the flea market event, so I can just mindlessly knit one by one twisted rib at the event, so I don't really have to concentrate or count anything, or maybe even look at my hands at the time, because with a rib I can feel with my fingers whether the next stitch is going to be a knit or a purl stitch. So I think ribbing is perfect for that. So this is coming with me to the flea market event. But yeah, thanks for watching this little video, and I would like to know if you would like to have more of this type of content, rather than just like the regular stuff where I sit and talk what I have on my needles at a specific time. So if you want, you can comment below the video what you like, if you like this video, and if you want more of this. And also just like if you like my videos, remember to subscribe to my channel so you will always get a notification when I put out a new video. And like I said, I think this video turned out a little different than I was planning on Monday. I think on Monday I was thinking about this kind of like a superhero type of little episode where I show how much knitting I can do and how fast I am at knitting, and it ended up becoming a more realistic video of what my work week looks like as a knitwear designer, and also that I filmed this on Saturday and on Sunday. That is considered weekend, and like I talked yesterday about knitting during the weekend, even though knitting is my work. So I think this was a fun little glimpse to film about my life as a knitwear designer, and I hope you also found it helpful and insightful. But anyway, tomorrow I will start my Christmas countdown videos, so stay tuned on my channel if you want to check those out.